Hello ladies and gentlemen, today we bring you BC Racing Coilovers
featuring Fringe, featuring BC Racing, sponsored by, just kidding, BC Racing, please sponsor us.
Oh, it looks pretty good so far.
I'd say it looks pretty good. How's that look?
This ladybird's got a little bit of weight to him.
Step 1. To understand the BMW, you have to become the BMW.
Alright, so today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do coilovers for an E28. Applies to E30s too. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is disconnect these cords right here and whatnot. Disconnect this bolt right down there. Then right down here, you probably can't see, there's 2 bolts underneath the knuckle down there. And then you remove this right here and it should pull out. Then up top side, you're going to take the 3 up top. As you can see, these have gone the heck. They're not doing too good anymore. It's rotted out right there. It's alright. We'll make use of them.
This sway bar, we disconnected this one right here. After that, it was actually pretty simple. We just took caliper and rotor off there. And then we took the lower part off instead of taking this other tie rod or control arm, whatever it is. Instead of taking this lower one off, because from experience from the other one, these old ones are extremely hard to get off. We're probably just gonna take it off once we get everything else out and replace it a new one later, but for the moment it's not needed.
Show them the moment of truth.
No! Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Actually, crap.
What?
Oh, I can't fully take it off. I gotta take off the ABS. Yeah, they put ABS in this old.
Oh, the sensor? Oh, that's whatever. The sensor too, don't forget that. And then of course, 3 nuts on the top. I'm ready to die. Alright, so we're taking apart with our spring compressor here.
That's really nice.
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Oh, I'm about to just sawzall it, bro.
Careful. You feel any pressure on it? Because there's that one little spring path there that could have some pressure on it. This is not the way you're supposed to do it, but Coda's an angry boy.
Had enough of it, dude.
I wonder what's in that.
I think it's just metal.
So he flame cut him, as you can see there, and then so he flame cut him, and then now we've got to do something with down here. I think pull that rod out eventually when it cools down, but right now we're gonna take a break and go to McDonald's.
Oh no, I'm pulling it out right now. Watch this.
If it's like a, well, it's a shock, you might have to drill a hole in that, shouldn't you?
Gotta tighten these up. It's easier to take them out if you don't destroy it like I did. This is all you do. You just keep going back and forth.
It's definitely a spring, a shock, an absorber of sorts. Oh, she's getting a hole. We better place a fucking reservoir under it. You know what's gonna happen, don't you? That wasn't that bad.
Okay, we need a bucket because it's just gonna keep pissing.
Yeah, some sort of container.
Yeah, pull on this.
Yes. On a more revised version of it, we got the other front one out. Turns out we just need to get these 3 bolts out. Tie rod that goes right here towards the top, and it connects to the strut itself, and then right ABS and the lines. But that's the only tie rod you need to take out, truthfully, is that one, this one right here.
Sway bar link right here.
Because it connects somewhere up here, I believe. So that's the only tie rod you really need to disconnect, and then of course all the wires and the lines or whatever, brake caliper, the hub nut. Anyways, we're calling it quits for the night. I don't even know what time is it. What time is it?
11:30.
Alright, ladies and gents, Dakota is off doing some other errands. Pull at the bottom of the coilovers to the bottom knuckle like you're supposed to with these E28s and E30s. He MIG'd it, and in order to MIG the bottom of the coilover to the bottom knuckle, you have to heat the bottom knuckle up to about 500 to 600 degrees apparently, because it's cast iron, or it's cast, or whatever it is. And so you have to preheat it to weld to it. The first welds came out nice, like very, very nice, but he wanted to put like another bead on it just to be safe or something. I don't know. But that's what you gotta do to the front. But on the rears, you don't really need to do that. On the rears, you can take them off with the 3 bolts on the top end on each side here. You're gonna have to move this emission box out of the way when you go for this passenger side rear coilover. But that's just 1 bolt, and just let it hang, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. Then there's gonna be 3 tucked away up there. Helps to have a ratchet wrench, because it's gonna be difficult to keep moving a wrench up in those tight quarters. So it pays to have a wrench that has a ratcheting end to it, like that. But with those ratchet wrenches, it made it pretty easy. Anyways, actually I gotta go show you the other side, because the other side's still in. So on this side, you can see, and it's the same on the other side too, the strut comes down here, and this is ancient, so this is gonna be really annoying to take off. But it's just a bolt on the other side. I forget what size it is. I have the gun, the impact gun here. This is one of the bolts right here. That bolt that holds the bottom of that strut in is gonna be a 23 millimeter. Nice and snug fit. Then, depending on the condition of your car, if it looks better than this, usually they can come right off if they're like rust free or something. But these are seized on, I can almost guarantee you. I know the other side was, because you can look at what we did to it trying to get it off. We cut it off with a Sawzall there. It was mounted, welded or something to the top, to the strut, bottom of the strut right here. We've been air hammering it and everything. I've been twisting it, heating it up a little bit with a heat gun. At this point, we're just gonna have to get the cutting torch and just really heat it real hot, because that's the only option we have left. I mean, geez, look at this. We've been having a tough time here. But the fronts are welded. We're just gonna have to put the top of the coilovers in there and then mount them up with the suspension pieces we're also replacing during this install. When you're doing coilovers in these old BMWs, it's always a good idea to get some sort of front end kit or new suspension pieces, as many as you can get while you're in there and everything's apart. It would just be a wise decision to do that as well at the same time. And that way you have all new suspension. You come out of the shop slinging around corners, feeling like a brand new car in that front end. I'm excited to see the results. We're not getting all brand new, but just the ones that we moved mainly. We're gonna be getting this one in here too. We just replaced this one. And some other odds and ends we're gonna be replacing while we're at it. But anyways, that's the progress we've made. Once Dakota gets time to come around and finish this up, I'll be recording and we'll put everything back together so you guys can see it completed, hopefully.
Alright, so when you go to put the rear ones in, behind here, there's this amp. It's gonna be in your way. I'm telling you right now, a ratcheting socket wrench, it's gonna be your best friend. That's gonna be the easiest way.
I think I told him about the top mounts with that, with the ratchet wrench.
Alright, so down here, we got the new stuff in. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare getting that in. Here, let me go grab it.
Obviously, it depends on the condition of the car, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you got a Southern car or one that's been driven a lot and the owner's done maintenance and maybe replace the rear shocks, it'll be easy. But if you're like me and found one that was sitting forever with low miles.
I mean, this thing, it's got to be original.
This right here, it goes into the cast iron hub. And it was an absolute pain in the butt to
It
get
was
it
an
out.
absolute unit.
And the only way we got it out was by just going to town with an air hammer. On the front, it was a little bit of a time-consuming process getting everything back together. I was frustrated at it. But basically, you get the 3 bolts underneath here.
On the bottom knuckle.
On the bottom knuckle, you screw them back in.
Probably saw them from the removal.
And then I had to replace the sway bar link right here on the back side. Hook it up to here. You're gonna have to hook it up regardless because that's how you take it off.
There's a holder nut on the other side from the nut you gotta put on one side. You gotta hold it with one end and then screw the lock nut on.
And then you put on the rotor again, screw on your axle nut, put the caliper back on, get the 2 bolts on the other side, and you're good to go. Then you come up top and you got the 3 right there.
Pro tip, these screws are not all the same distance apart. As you can see, these 2 studs are closer together than these 2 distances. So that's how it'll line up. It took us a little while to realize that, to spin the coilovers the right way.
And if you got BC Racing struts, it's going to be a 12 millimeter, not 14. I believe that's what it used to be, 14. But you just tighten them up. I don't know the torque specs. Don't ask me. Tight is tight. You get them on, they're real nice,
As long as they're secure. I can't believe we didn't tighten that. Oh yeah, because that was the first thing we did. That's right. Yeah, we just came up and arranged that after we learned that those 2 studs are closer together than the others. Once we found that out, it was easy to spin it around and find which way it needed to go, and we just hooked that up and put the nuts on so it wouldn't move from the upper mount, and we took care of the lower mount after that. I don't know. He says he can't see a difference, but I can see a difference. I think it looks really good. I was looking at some of your older pictures and